welcome once again to this edition of The Golden Rule. If you haven't been watching this month, I've been going through a series leading up to Christmas with all the biblical accounts of what happened to bring that event to pass. And I encourage you to go back. You know, there's a lot of people that don't go to church at all anymore. Tragic, sad, very sad, but it's true nonetheless. Yet there are others who do, and they go and they are blessed and they believe what they're hearing. So we've talked about to this point a woman named Mary, a young girl, teenage girl, got pregnant while she was engaged to a man named Joseph, and he got kind of bent out of shape when he found out about it, and until an angel visited him and said, "Chill, Joseph, it's God that did this." And he said, "Oh, God, okay, then I guess I can go ahead and marry her." "Yeah, you go ahead and marry her." So Joseph became the father, the not the biological father of Jesus, but the paternal father, the one who raised him as a child. And so we have a description of much of this in Matthew chapter 2, and it starts out by saying, "When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that's born King of the Jews? For we've seen his star in the east, and we're come to worship him." Now when Herod the king, the Roman king, had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. The Jewish people were under occupation by the Roman troops. They had been conquered. And so all of Israel was under Roman rule. And this man, Herod, was the king ruling over this particular region at the time. And he was a jealous king. He was king and he didn't want anybody else to be king. So when all of a sudden these wise men from the east come traveling into his territory with this entourage of camels and people and gifts and presents and everything, he sends for them. He says, "What are you guys doing here?" And they said, "Oh, we've come to visit the king." "Well, here I am. I'm the king." "No, not you. There's another king." "Another king?" "No, I'm the king." "Well, there's another king. He's born. He's just been born. He's going to be the king." Well, when Herod heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And we gathered all the chief priests and the scribes of the people together. He demanded of them where this Christ should be born. "I want to know more about this king. Where's he going to be born?" And they told him. They said, "In Bethlehem, Judea. For thus it is written by the prophet hundreds of centuries earlier. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of you shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel." So the birth of Jesus was prophesied. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, asked them diligently, "When did you see this star? How long have you been following this star? I want some details." So they gave him whatever they knew. And then he sent them to Bethlehem, and he said, "Go ahead and search diligently for this king child. And when you found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also." Lie. He didn't want to come and worship this king. He wanted to come and eradicate this king, because there couldn't be no room for two kings. And I'm the king. No little baby's going to take over my reign. So when they'd heard the king, they departed. And the star which they saw in the east went before them until it came and stood over where the young child was. I want to make a point here. A lot of times Christmas depictions show a manger and a baby and angels and shepherds and wise men, and they're all there at the same time. That's not the way it happened in the Bible. The wise men didn't come until a while after Jesus had been born, and they didn't find him as an infant in a manger. He was a young child by this point. And it says, when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they were come into the house, not a barn, not a manger, not a stable, a house. They're now living in a house. They had the baby in Bethlehem. They'd gone to Jerusalem where he was circumcised and dedicated. And now they're living in a house somewhere. Doesn't say where the house is, but he was in a house. And they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. Can you imagine worshiping a little child? These are wise men, traveled a long distance, brought all kinds of gifts, very valuable gifts, gold, frankincense, myrrh. And they brought these gifts, and they presented them. They opened their treasures, and they presented him with the gifts. Now listen to this. In verse 12, and being warned by God in a dream that they shouldn't go back to Herod, but should return into their own country another way. In other words, God didn't want these guys to let Herod know where Jesus was, because he knew what was in Herod's heart. He wanted to kill him. Angels. Well, so the wise men leave, and when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord, I don't know if you're getting this, angel after angel after angel after angel appearance, giving specific instruction, direction, warnings. The angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Angels can appear in all different ways. They can appear in dreams. They can appear in person where you are visually seeing them and you know they're angels, or they can appear in a form where you don't even know they're angels. All different kinds of manifestations of angels. But in this case, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt and stay there until I tell you the coast is clear and you can come back. For Herod is going to seek the child to destroy him." The angel warned. So when Jesus arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. Joseph didn't waste any time obeying this angel's command, and it's a good thing, because, and he was in Egypt until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, "Out of Egypt have I called my son." There you go, prophecy again, saying Jesus would be called out of Egypt. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked by the wise men, was exceeding wroth. Exceeding wroth. That means his jaws were torqued. I mean, he's mad. And he sent forth, and he killed all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. And because of this massacre was another prophecy fulfilled, spoken by the prophet Jeremiah, saying, "In Ramah there was a voice heard, lamentation, weeping, great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not." But now Jesus and Mary and Joseph had been in Egypt for a period of time. The Bible doesn't specify how long. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, "Arise, take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead now which sought the young child's life." And so he got up, took the young child and his mother, and came back into the land of Israel. But when he'd heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there, notwithstanding being warned of God in a dream. Another dream. He turned aside into the parts of Galilee and came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets. Hope you're catching this. Fulfilled, but was spoken by the prophets. Fulfilled, spoken by the prophets. All these details about Jesus' birth and life were spoken in advance, said he shall be called a Nazarene. Well, there you have it. Joseph, Mary, Jesus, angels, Egypt, Bethlehem, Nazareth. It's all fulfillment of prophecy. So what do you do with this information? What do you, listener in the Detroit Lakes, Minnesota area, or you may be listening from California or Arizona or Georgia, I don't know. I'm amazed at how this program is disseminated far beyond what I ever dreamed when I first started it. But I'm asking you, what is your reaction to all this stuff as it pertains to this season of the year? Do you believe it? Do you? You personally. I'm not speaking to a group of people. I'm speaking to each watching individually. Do you believe these accounts? Do you believe that God came to this earth in human form? Human form. And he lived here among us, God living among us. Can you imagine what it must have been like to be one of his brothers or sisters? Living in a house with a kid that never sinned? That can cause some friction, I would think. And it did. But what do you do with this news? Well, number one, you either believe it or you don't. That's your options. Jesus is God, come to earth in the flesh, born of a virgin, lived a sinless life, walked on the face of the planet for 3.5 years, did miracles, all kinds of miracles. Acts 10:38 says, God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for God was with him. All. Jesus did miraculous healings. These aren't fairy tales. He healed sick people. How sick? Well, one was lame since birth, one was blind since birth, and one was dead for 3 days. And those are just a tidbit. And then besides that, he walked on water. He fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Miraculous stuff. Do you believe any of it? It's recorded in the Bible. Yeah, well, I don't believe the Bible. I feel sorry for you because the Bible is true and everything in it is going to come to pass. And including the fact that Jesus said, I'm coming back. I'm going to leave for a season. It's been 2,000 years now. He said, but I'm coming back, and when I do, you won't know the day or the hour. It will happen just like that. But you'll have clues. I'll give you clues. And one of the clues is the nation of Israel. Pay close attention to the nation of Israel. For once they come back to their land, once the Jews are restored to the nation of Israel, the geographical nation of Israel, and once again have their own social structure, their own religious structure, their own governmental structure, that's a sign that my return is getting close. Well, that happened in 1948. That's almost 75 years ago. So how close are we to the return of the Lord? There are other signs that are happening. He said there'll be earthquakes in diverse places. You're seeing it all the time on the internet. Cities are being shaken. Typhoons, earthquakes, volcanoes are erupting. The whole earth, the Bible says the earth shakes at the presence of the Lord. He's coming back, folks. Jesus Christ is coming back, and I just pray that you would be among those that are ready, because if you're not going to like what's going to happen. With that as a parting comment, I will say goodbye and Happy New Year. We're already into it, and it's going to be a good year. It could be our last year on the planet, as it is now. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.